back. My name is Jay Weidner, talking to Philip Imbrogno. And we're talking about his book, Interdimensional Universe, a really good book. And let's get back to this incredibly fascinating subject. I came across, I was fascinated by Keel's work on the Mothman prophecies, and I came across years ago a Freedom of Information document that was talking about the CIA building an underground facility near the West Virginia border in Kentucky, and that they'd found a huge tunnel system there, and that they were spending the late 60s cleaning out the tunnel system. There were tons of animals and all sorts of stuff in this thing. And then I realized that they were cleaning out the tunnel system, putting in their little secret thing exactly, at the same time the Mothman prophecies were happening in West Virginia. And I always thought that was kind of strange. But anyway, What's been happening lately? I mean, have you got any stories of things that are going on recently, or?
Well, there's quite a bit going on, and just getting back to the tunnels a little bit, I have done magnetic anomaly studies at these locations, and I don't go out with one of these little ghost hunter things. I actually, rented out a magnetometer, a real scientific instrument, and did the graphs and everything. And I found out that in all of these locations where the paranormal phenomena is very hot, especially in the area that I've been investigating, in every example there was a negative magnetic anomaly, an intense negative magnetic anomaly. This is a decline in the Earth's magnetic field. And what was happening is that you can trace the Earth's magnetic lines, and when they come to these areas where the paranormal phenomena and UFO phenomena is very prominent, there's a dip, as if there's some type of vortex and the Earth's magnetic field is disappearing into something. Sort of like if you watch water go down a drain. The water pressure around and the water around is very, very high, but down in the center, you can put your finger down there and not get wet. So it seems that the magnetic lines of force have dropped considerably. And I think that these magnetic lines of force are like loops. And normally when there's an increase in the Earth's magnetic field, these loops are closed. But when the magnetic field of the Earth starts to get less, due to a lot of different causes, especially from the sun, the loop kind of like relaxes and open up. You can imagine like two shoestrings, and you tie a loop, and as you pull the loop, you make a knot and close it off. But if you don't pull it tight, you got a little opening there. And I think this is how these portals open and close. And a lot of this phenomena generates from that particular area. And, I have to mention that, my background is science, and I've been teaching science for 28 years. And, and I try to put as much technology and science and theory into my investigations of the paranormal. I used to just say UFOs for a very long time. I was investigating unidentified flying objects, but it goes hand in hand. So I have to say that I'm a paranormal investigator now. And recently I've been doing quite a bit of work with the concept of parallel universes. For example, I was very skeptical at first with people using sweeping AM radios to pick up voices. And I have to say that I've experimented with them and worked with people who are experimenting with them, and some of the stuff that comes across is phenomenal. Now, people call these boxes ghost boxes because they think they're communicating with spirits. I don't think so. I think we're communicating with other people in a parallel reality on these things. Because in one particular case, we were doing some research in one of these hot areas. We had the radio going, and we tape all the sessions, and I said, do you have a message for us? And the voice came on and said the person's name who was with me and says, do you have a message for me? And I'm thinking, this is fascinating. Maybe there's somebody in a parallel universe doing the same thing, thinking that we're ghosts or something. But we have to bring in the idea of these parallel universes because it explains a lot of this. And I believe it's going to be, the science of the 21st century. And we're going to have all this phenomena explained.
I think so. I really do. And I love your explanation. I really do. I think that it's incredibly succinct. And are you familiar with Joe Parr's work?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So he's been studying the magnetic field at the pyramid, and he noticed every year that there's a huge drop around December, late December, actually, mid to late December. And I haven't really talked to him about this, but of course that's right when the galaxy is lining up with the sun right now, which I think has something to do with all of this. Not that there might be a physical reaction from the lineup of the galaxy and the sun. I think that the ancients might have been using that lineup as a clock to tell us when the magnetic fields would start collapsing. And what's going on with the sun right now is extremely interesting. The heliosphere has collapsed, and we don't have any sunspots. And of course, the Earth, the magnetic field of the Earth is connected to that too.
That's
so.
Right.
What is going on? And is this connected to global warming? And there's so many questions.
I mean, we're just little beings on this planet. We're on a speck of dust in the universe, but that's true about the sun. Now, what you can do is see the sun is very quiet. We're supposed to be in a sunspot maximum right now, but the sun is incredibly quiet. It really, really hasn't done this before in human history. There was a time where the sun was kind of inactive and the temperature of the Earth slowly started to drop because of the decrease of solar activity. But, you see, this is a little, being connected into the scientific fields, this quiet sun right now, when it should be active, is alarming a lot of solar physicists.
Yes.
Because this means that the sun is, in fact, building up. I mean, it's going through a cycle, but the collapsing in the core is much slow. That means that there could be something called a solar quake that takes place. And when this happens, the layers of the sun completely collapse down into the core, causing massive coronal injections.